It's been a minute since we made a Poppy Playtime video, mostly because if we do them too much we'll end up sucking the content so dry it will be like another indie horror series that we've been doing to death because any other video we release fails horribly. But that curse hopefully won't happen today, because today we asked the question, what if Poppy Playtime was real? First we have to discuss what the story of Poppy Playtime is and if we can relate it to anything currently in this world. What we know about the company that seems to be the main antagonist of the Poppy Playtime series called Playtime Company is also basically the story of the game. They seemingly hit it big in the 1960s with the release of Poppy, the world's first truly intelligent toy. This Poppy doll put them on the map, marking them as the king of toys until dolls fell out of style in the late 70s, causing Playtime Co to have to update their repertoire and come out with newer toys like Huggy Wuggy, Candy Cat, and others. This helped them bring back some of the business they lost, but this didn't seem like enough. They soon began seemingly experimenting with more realistic dolls in an attempt to recreate Poppy's success. Because let's face it, even if there was a truly intelligent version of this doll, not every version of Poppy would be truly intelligent like that, okay? Only the one they used in commercials and later that we released at the end of the chapter would actually be a person. Just like how ice cream in commercials is really mashed potatoes so it doesn't melt. However, this then brings us to the events of the tape unknown, the final tape in which, quote, final log in relation. Experiment 1006, the prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type. Though still missing, today's events are in no doubt relation to him. His absence was a flawed scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for. That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice. Any future experiments will need to be contained and disposed of in a secure location. I'm not worried about myself. One breakthrough and I'll be back. We must forge onwards in the name of science, but for those who are beneath us, understand it or not. And note, despite the horrible grammar, this then caused the company to seal away their experiments in an underground bunker, which we seemingly explore in chapter 1. At least, hopefully that's the thing we explore, otherwise they didn't do that and we're all screwed. But is this something that we all really see happening in real life? From my research I couldn't really find anything, and Mob Games is also claiming that any similarities to other entities is purely coincidental and subconscious, so any real life inspiration also seems to be out the window. However, we can tackle this much like we did the What If Bendy and the Ink Machine Was Real video, where we look to see if there's any company that seems like it would be willing to do these kinds of things. Usually, I'd say Disney, but they aren't really in the toy business all that much. They only use that market to capitalize on the popularity of their characters, which is understandable if you're a corporation who doesn't care about their employees and just wants money. But are there really any toy companies in this same situation that can benefit from turning their employees into living toys to get back on the map? The biggest toy company you can probably think of is Hasbro, and it's understandable why. They seem to be basically everywhere. However, in 1991 they acquired a particular company called Kenner Products. Simply known as Kenner, they were an American toy company founded in 1946. Throughout its history, the Kenner brand produced several highly recognizable toys and merchandise lines, including action figures like the original Star Wars characters, Jurassic Park, Batman, as well as die-cast models. The company, however, was closed by Hasbro in 2000. Well, the year 2000. However, being acquired by Tonga in 1987, who were honestly more about trucks and vehicles, when Kenner was more of an action figure company, would certainly be considered the beginning of the end. And with the characters they made being so popular, they would certainly benefit from being able to claim that these toys are sentient, or the world's first truly intelligent toys. But this is where the issues come into play, since if we really want to know what would happen if Poppy Playtime was real, we need to think about what's happening in the games, with, you know, giant sentient toy monsters chasing us. Yeah, that part. Well, Hasbro is a $5.1 billion company, so I think it's safe to say that they care about making money. Not only that, but with Kenner Products having been shut down, they could easily benefit from a way to get Kenner back on the map. Or at least something similar to Kenner. I'm not sure how like reopening a company you shut down works in the US. Honestly, I don't even know how it works in Canada, so the US is an absolute mystery. But if Hasbro suddenly came out saying that they have the world's first truly intelligent toys, I don't think anyone would really care. But what about the giant humanitarian characters who want to eat us? And yes, I said humanitarian, not humanitarian, because humanitarian is something else, and I'm talking about someone who eats exclusively people. Although now now that I think about it, humanitarians also might just eat people. Well, either way, that would be a little more difficult to explain though. Although I think it's safe to say that they wouldn't be creating these monsters intentionally, since, you know, a family getting eaten by your toys not only cuts down on your client base, but also kind of gives your company a bad rep. Well, unless it's the FNAF universe, apparently. I think Hasbro would attempt to avoid this, but failures are inevitable in the pursuit of science, and honestly, they wouldn't really know about it until the first one came along. So how would they deal with those? Simple. I kind of explained it in that Bendy video. Yeah, they would simply pop a bullet between the eyes of the ones who didn't work properly. Those who weren't the ideal template, like Experiment 1006. Corporations and corporate America have a lot of shady dealings going down, even in real life, not just in movies. So offing a few failed experiments is nothing new, I'm sure. As my professor used to say when I was learning advertising in college, don't be afraid to kill off your babies. Not even kidding, that's the exact wording. What that means is, like, if something doesn't work, you gotta get rid of it, even if it was your idea. Oh my god, Lori, you kinda scarred me, although it prepared me for FNAF. And I'm sure that the same philosophy of killing your babies is followed in the corporate world, although to a more extreme case in this scenario, because some of them might actually be babies. And while the science may be impossible to actually create human toys, I'm sure that if there was the technology, people would be using it. And this would probably be the result. So, is Poppy Playtime real? No, but if it was, should we be scared? Yes, and we should be scared without it, honestly. Because to quote Bill Nye, the world's on fucking fire. But it would be even worse if we had giant toys that came to want to eat us. Man, how would like the toy versus human war go? I kind of want to see that. Is that gonna be like chapter 7 of Poppy Playtime? Because like I want to fight some toys. I want to take the grab pack and make a fists and just shoot out giant fists at Huggy Wuggy. Because we know he's not dead. I hope he is, but we know he's not. He always comes back. Everyone always comes back. Real life toys, I feel like Hasbro might do it, but honestly, I think Disney would do it even more. Can you imagine, like, Disney turning their toys into people? If Disney had access to turn toys into people, they would turn the toys of their characters into people and then have them at the Disney parks. And then they would have their real characters. And then they could have even weirder characters than like just like the actual like humanoid characters. They could have like a real Jabba the Hutt. They could have a real Jabba the Hutt just like slithering. Does he slither, or he's like a slug, right? Like how do slugs count as like slithering? Is that what they do, or do they just slide? I don't know. It's like the immortal snail thing. Is he slithering? I don't think so. He's sliding in that would hurt. Ow, Jesus. Okay, but yeah, no. Disney would absolutely do this. I didn't want to use Disney, but I'm going. It's not like Disney's gonna sponsor us anyway. Disney would absolutely turn their employees into toys and then put those toys in their parks. Hands down. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. Hopefully Poppy Playtime isn't real.